Hey everybody, it's Jerry at the Fledge. Welcome for another episode of Every Damn Day. Today we've got one of the fledgling OGs from way, way back. Mr. Bilal is here with us. How you doing today, Bilal?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. I'm sick the last couple of days, but finally getting over it.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Is it COVID?
No, thank God. One of my friends has a seasonal cold, and it's only like a day thing. Oh my God, lots of nausea and my body.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we tried to cancel this out this morning because you were feeling sick, and I was like, every damn day, you can't, if it was skateboarding, you'd be up skating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, every damn day. So you're also the first one to hit a pipe when we're getting ready to talk here. So good to see you're getting in the mood and the cure-all, the medicine for everything. So today, we talked before the show. We could talk about Brillo. We could talk about crawl space. We could talk about what it was like to get tear gassed by our Lansing's finest, and we kind of settled on crawl space with a little of the other peppered in. So. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about crawl space and whatever else you want.
For sure. So my name's Bilal. I have a solo project by myself that's just called Brillo, where I make music that's super dark and death themed. But I'm also in another project and art collective called Crawl Spaces. I started with Jackson Kohoff. He's another musician in the Lansing area and friend of mine. He goes by Samurai Jackson in his own music project. But we started Crawl Spaces first because we wanted to make a band together and make music. And then as we kept going with it, we realized that it's a lot easier to get bigger projects than you have more people working on it with you, and you have a lot more ideas to bounce off of each other, and more you can get out of each thing.
Hey. Sorry about that.
That's okay. But there's a lot more you can get out of every project you put into if you have more people all dedicated to a project working on it. And so we opened Crawl Spaces up from being just a band to more of an art collective to make better stuff for ourselves and to help our friends in the community and everything make their own art projects and get those off the ground and have more, more hands to work on it with.
Yeah. Well, do you use phrases like many hands make for light work and stuff like that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we're super fond of finding people with all sorts of backgrounds. Like me and Jackson were originally just musicians, right? Well, Jackson's also a mama, but...
Jackson was on the show, was it last week, talking about the early education teacher.
Yeah. He was also a teacher for little kids. Yeah. I know he loved that job.
Yeah.
We had Jackson with that kind of background. We had this guy Nathan who was in Crawl Space with us for a little bit, who works now in like insurance, but is also a musician, but from like a whole different like genre and style background. We have a friend Emma Kaufman who actually went to Cronkite School of Journalism in Phoenix for journalism and visual media. That works with us now and helps us. She helped us film all of the music videos we did, and all of the editing and all of that stuff. There's Talia that's in Crawl Spaces now, who her family is from Haiti.
That's right.
It's Haiti. Yeah. Oh my God, I always confuse it with somewhere else, and I feel really bad every single time I do it. But I know she was from Florida. I'm not too well versed on what she got into in Florida. But now she's here and learning how to sing and helping us with all of that other stuff. Knows a lot more about marketing than I do, than Jackson. And so we've got like that coming to the table now too. And we're working with Marshall in the future, who's just creatively my icon. I love him.
Yeah. That's at the Fledge we always say that diversity and that number of people give us a bigger brain. It brings more skill sets to the table. It brings even new words to the table, right? I remember you and I sat out on the porch talking to Talia for a while about Haiti and all of that, and she taught us some good lessons. That was a fun time. Well, maybe I have to have her on here to talk about Haiti with me.
Oh, you definitely should get her on here at some point. I know she would love to be on here as well.
So you talked about when we were talking about what to talk about today. You said you brought up being a pacifist.
Oh yeah, so
that's interesting.
I recently,
yeah.
So let me take a step back and say I was not always a pacifist. I started off definitely non-violent, but I would not stray from violence if that's the situation I was put in. And then as I got older, primarily towards the end of high school and when I turned 18 and it became more of a legal problem, I decided that pacifism is probably the better way to go just because you get less legal trouble and all of that kind of stuff. But in recent times, with everything going on with the election, with Trump, with neo-Nazism on the rise, and all of that good stuff, I would say I'm being reminded that pacifism is only valid situationally. Because, there are just some problems that I don't think can be fixed in the pacifistic route if it gets to a certain point. Like, for example, two kids arguing in the schoolyard about, a swing or something. Obviously you can talk that out, but, who in their right mind would have told the slaves or the Jews that at any point they shouldn't have fought back? And looping back to the Haiti thing, actually, the Haitian people were the first to have a successful slave revolt and build a society for themselves after that whole slave trade thing kind of extremely marginalized them.
Yes.
And so, with seeing what's going on now, it's hard to say that no one should act out or act non-peacefully, I guess. Because it's just up to a certain point, yes, violence is not necessary, but after a certain point, it is the only option we have. Otherwise, you will be swept under the rug with everything else that you're trying to put out. And that's just not going to get anybody anywhere.
I was a wrestler for a long time, and I try to imagine being have my breath cut off for 8 minutes. I mean, an Olympic wrestling match is 6 minutes, so 8 minutes of being without breath is, even to the most elite wrestler, would be very dramatic, and I would not be able to control myself. I would be fighting that. So if you had a pillow over my head, I would be fighting, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's on that same, it's that same continuum, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's interesting. And you did, you got tear gassed in the Lansing was one of the 100 cities to tear gas their citizens. And you expressed yourself on the building. You wrote, what'd you write on my building?
There were a few things I wrote. I wrote defund the police, and I don't remember if the word I used was refund or reinvest in communities.
You said invest in black communities.
Invest in black communities. That was the exact thing. I know I spent a long time that day trying to make sure it sounded good. But the other thing I wrote was also, a strong community does not need cops.
Yeah. And, that's been one of our cries in cries, that's not the right word, one of our rally calls in 99 Problems But a Pitch Ain't One, and in Every Damn Day. Strong communities, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to solve the problems that are relevant to us, right?
Absolutely. A truly strong community self-regulates. That's the definition of it in my mind. If I were to envision a perfect community that is the most harmonious it could be, It's one where everyone feels completely comfortable and free to talk to and ask for assistance or advice from anyone else in that community. If one person's falling short, someone else may be able to help them out and make up the difference. And vice versa. It's the extension of having a really close family unit with your community. And a community like that, just like a family, 9 times out of 10 that is healthy, does not need an outside policing force to make sure that everyone treats everyone properly. If everyone cares about everyone in the first place, then everyone's going to want to treat them properly anyways, because you want the same thing from those exact people. And that's kind of in a much more diluted way, because Crawl Spaces is not saying we are the end-all be-all fixing all communities, but we try to strive for that same thing in the whole reaching out to our community, finding people of all kinds of backgrounds and whatever that want to get involved in any form of art that we can help them with. We try to bring them in and help them with it, and in turn help ourselves grow, because we also want to learn as much about any type of art, put out as much as we can because we enjoy doing it. Those people get more opportunities and get to learn what they want to learn, how to do what they want to do, and get more experience in doing it.
Yeah. So, man, we're gonna come back to that probably when I ask you the question from our speaker yesterday. But let's go along the lines of like crawl spaces and strengthening the communities. What's something that you do every damn day to move that needle forward? And we already know smoking pot's probably one of the things, so you can't use that as but what is something you do every damn day to keep the needle moving forward?
I try to be super. Oh, why am I blanking on the words? Because I'm smoking weed partially. But I try to be super supportive. There we go. Of every single artistic pursuit or passion anyone I bump into has. Like, I cannot tell you, especially at work, like how many times I'll bump into somebody or I'll meet someone and I'll tell them that I'm an artist, and they'll be like, oh, I really wish I could do art, but like I'm not good enough, or I don't have the time, or blah 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 blah. And like the thing is, like, you don't have to be good enough to monetize your art to do art. You can do art just like birds just sing songs and just like ants build anthills. Like, it's just something people do. You don't have to be good at it. And second is I try to let them know, like, well, if you don't feel like you're good at it and you at least want somewhere to be supported, like, I will help you. I will give you the support you need. We can figure this out together. Because in the same way that, like, it's really sad to look at someone who doesn't feel like they can ask for help when they need food or something, it's really sad to me to meet someone who feels like they can't do any form of art just because they're not good enough, or they haven't started it when they were like 6 years old. And likewise. So being supportive is definitely the number one thing I do every damn day, and the easiest thing anyone can do every damn day.
Yeah, I love it. It's we need to build each other up. We need to what's the right word? Make space for everybody too.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much abundance out there that we neglect to recognize, and we try to fight over things. Not us, but communities and society in general. I love what you do every damn day. That is, building that up and making sure that message is out there, because that expression, if everyone doesn't participate in the expression, then not everybody's going to be represented in the message that kind of rings through history.
Absolutely.
So, I do shitty art. You see my shitty art all over the place. I'll
you see
do
some
anything.
of my old shitty art. Not all this is great either.
So, but I also like that you said, you don't have to monetize it. Everything is not part of this capital system, right? Or capitalistic system. So, yesterday I had the guy's, his name is Ehud, and he's from Israel, but he lives in Dayton, Ohio right now. And he is kind of a holistic healer. And as we do every day, the person from yesterday asks you a question, and then you're going to ask the person for tomorrow a question. And his question to you is, what inspired you to be a musician or an artist or a non-pacifist, however you want to answer that?
What inspired me to actually formally start making music and art in any sense of the word is honestly, it was not being able to find the art that I wanted to consume in my daily life. Because like I've technically been like playing various instruments since I was like 6 or 8. I think was my first guitar lesson. But I didn't really put a whole lot of energy into it. Like it was just kind of something I did as a pastime. Where in the same way that like when I was that young, I also did like I don't know, play with linking logs as a pastime. Like I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't hate it. It was just something I did when I felt like it. But I didn't actually start like settling down to like make music and formally put stuff together and make full pieces until 3 years ago. I had been looking for this genre of music that I had been like feeling, like I had like thought of these rhythms and been like, oh, there has to be like a genre that sounds even similar to what it is I'm thinking of, and I could not find it for the life of me. And so after a certain point, I gave up, and I was like, you know what? If I want to hear it, I'm just going to have to make it myself, it seems like. And so I started actually sitting down and recording the music I was making, putting all the things I'd learned about music together after all that time. So it was technically out of necessity, but now I do it because like it's the most cathartic thing I can do. And having that outlet for your emotions, as every artist will tell you, is extremely important.
I had the privilege of watching that transformation, because when you first came and was hanging around with me in Grand Ledge at the old Fledge, you were doing the gaming club, and which was amazing, by the way, and I wish you still did that. But it was really amazing. It was great. And you had such a, I don't know, you had a good squad around you trying to push that needle forward too. But then when you got into music, and I'll let you talk about the twins if you ever want to. But they were kind of around. You still there with me?
Yeah, I still hear you.
I just lost a little something.
Hello.
But I gotta find an audio because my power just went out in part of the things.
So you cannot hear me.
Can you keep talking for me then?
Hello. It says my mic is working, so I'm assuming it's on your end. I don't actually know. But we're going to figure it out, and I'm going to keep saying words until we fix it. Hello. There we go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I'm just on the YouTube channel instead.
YouTube.
All right. So that's what we do. We keep working, right? Oh,
we figured it out.
My camera's out too?
Yeah, I think you turned it off there.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So, what we were... Oh, it turned itself off because of that.
There we go.
Perfect.
I can see it.
Now we're back. We would have canceled the show last week because I didn't know how to handle it, but now we just have to deal with it. So
we just roll with it.
We will roll with it. Sorry, though. I forgot sort of where we were at.
Talking about the twins being around for my transition into art?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
kind of going from that tech world to the artist world, and
oh man, because when I first met the twins, I did make music and stuff here and there, but I mostly, if you asked me at the time, I would have said I hated art. I would have said I didn't think it was necessary for me to do it, because I know there are other artists out there, and so I'll just have them do it, and I'll handle my programming stuff and deal with math for forever.
Yeah.
And then I met the twins, and the only thing they wanted to do all the time was make art of any kind. And at first that was really annoying me, because I didn't like making art, but I also really liked hanging out with them, so I thought, I might as well make something if I'm going to sit here with them while they draw for 4 hours. I might as well draw something too. And eventually, after enough supportiveness from them, was a huge factor. I eventually let myself get into it and found out that I actually loved making art. So here I am now, a dedicated artist.
So this sort of leads us into tomorrow's guest is Claude with Claude Designs. and they are a graphic artist, and among other things, so all kinds of different art. If you could, or what question can I pass on to Claude, coming from you?
Okay. My question would be, so let me think of a good way to word this. 1 second. I know exactly what it is, though. What is it? For what purpose do you make art? Like, I answered why I make art for me, but why do you make art and put it out there? What purpose is it going to fulfill, and why do you think it's important?
So, I've got to ask you that question again, but you've sort of answered it as we led up to this. But I'm going to go ahead and ask you, for what purpose do you make art? For what, whether that's music or whatever expression that you do. Why don't you sum that up for us real quick?
So I would like to say, if I had to organize this, what I said earlier as the whole, I make art because it was something I couldn't find. I would say that would be like the reason I make art, if we had to separate it. And so that's my reason personally. And then I think the purpose that I make my art and put it out and put time into that is because I think it's important, one, to build community, which is why I do crawl spaces and work with as many people as I can. But two, and the bigger reason, which is my whole theme behind Brillo, is that death and those kinds of negative things associated with it do not need to be negative. And death in itself, as like a thing that happens over the course of time, should be viewed at most neutrally. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's absolutely necessary to anything that exists, and for any story or likewise to have a full and complete end. But the purpose I put my art out, is to try and get people to feel a little bit more comfortable with death, and to realize that it's not just like this horrible thing that takes something away from us. It's a necessary part of building a story and building meaning around that thing in your life.
Did you watch Death Cafe with Megan's every damn day?
I did not yet, but I want to.
She did Death Cafe this morning at 10 a.m. But she's been she does it on Wednesdays at 7 too. But that's kind of been an amazing. She's trying to create a creative dying center and use psychedelics and things like that to help people come to grips with the end of life, and kind of has that same view. And this is interesting to me because you've never said that to me before. I've just learned that. So now things make a lot more sense with your music and your art.
It took a lot of time to really build vocabulary for why I did it. Because initially it was just kind of like I had this feeling of like, I need to do this, and I have to put it out, and I'll be able to figure out how to say why later, but I kind of could. But now I feel like I'm doing it long enough, and I kind of thought about it enough, and I finally have the vocabulary to describe it.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful, and I think it's we should put the message out there. We've had a loss in the East Side this past week with somebody taking their life, and it's not the same thing. It's not. It's the natural cycle of things. It's not the premature termination. So we want to make sure that everyone out there knows that we love you. We're here for you. We're here to build you up. And if you need something, reach out to someone. So sorry, didn't mean to derail us on that. But it's an important subject.
Point to make is that obviously suicide is horrible. I don't think it's quite moral for anyone to take anyone else's life or anything like that. But my point is rather that instead of fearing death in and of itself, it shouldn't sorry, let me back up. I feel like an easy way to say this is that at a funeral, instead of crying just because that person has died, I feel like it's a lot larger of a gesture to cry for the intensity that was their whole life and their whole story. and being able to experience any or all of it that you could. In the same way that, like, when you get to the end of a really powerful movie, you don't cry because the movie is over and you're watching the end credits. You're crying because you're realizing the entirety of what that whole story was telling. And whether or not someone believes their story has meaning or anything like that beforehand, or by the time they get to their death, there's still going to be a meaning that someone else is going to pull from it. Someone else is going to find joy and lessons and all kinds of beautiful things in the story of someone's life. So that's more what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So it's been great having you on the show. I love all of your answers. This is a lot of. You've always been wise. No matter what age you were. When I met you, I know that you were quite young, but you've always has the wisdom about you. And I appreciate you fighting through your sickness and coming out on the show. And thanks for being the first one to smoke weed on the show. And we'll be talking again. So that concludes another episode of Every Damn Day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tomorrow we've got 99 Problems But a Pitch Ain't One at 3 p.m. Hopefully Bilal's coming back into that scene sometime soon. Yeah, so we'll be talking about that. And everyone, I hope you have a great Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Every Damn Day.
See ya.
And maybe on 99 Problems. Take us out with a piece or something.